Alright, welcome back to our Priest PPE. This is episode 14. When we last... Oh, okay, interesting. When we last left off, we boosted our defense exalt quite considerably. We are now only 10 behind our void exalt, as opposed to earlier's like 25 or 30 or whatever it was. For today, we are going to stick to the plan, and we're going to try and push out the last of our, at the very least, mana exalts. That should be pretty easy. And we'll probably end up pushing for defense too. It's only 10 more at maximum. Aside from our Halls Exalts, we don't really have much in the way of a goal for this episode. I guess we could always consider doing more Mountain Temples or O3s to try and get some of our other weapons. I would like to get a fucking Retribution by about now. I mean, Evocation's fine, but... man, would really like to stop using it. 50k feels like a little too long to have it, so we're gonna aim to replace this. Well, how can I say no to that guy? Also, curiosity, how many of these fucking dead church enemies have I killed? Where is it? 6,000. Alright, sounds right. Yeah, damn, I can't believe we're still in this goddamn biome. I'm kinda impressed we haven't had the skull yet either. Oh, okay. 100th Manor. Damn. I wanted that to be shiny. Alright, there we go. Mastery 1 in 800. 800 fame for 100 of those things. That's lame as hell. Can this thing drop new biome whites, by the way? I'm not going to bother to do the Cronus trial, but I'm kind of curious. Can this thing drop new biome whites? I mean, can it drop biome whites at all? Nope. Okay. Well... another day to ponder that. Whatever. Normal Puri. I don't think we're gonna get a shiny Puri. I don't think that's happening. Oh, hey, white bag and a banner. Regular quiver. Alright, kind of pales in comparison to the, shiny we got. But hey, that's kind of cool anyways. I mean, if we get desperate, I guess we could forge a Source Stone. I don't typically forge gear that I'm going to use, but if it's something for completion, I don't really have any qualms with that. Just because I don't want to do, 2 billion voids for that. Oh, there's our mana exalt, by the way. We are on the home stretch. Update, we've currently had 3 banners. So, doing pretty good. That being 3 defense banners, so I should say. Okay, I think, honestly, the, psychological warfare that exalts give you and the way these things are organized is fucking horrible, alright? Because, logically, you get to, you get 3-5 in your exalt. And you're like, shit, I'm almost done. I only got 2 left. You're not even halfway done. I'm barely over halfway done on my defense. Holy shit, I need 34 left. I don't know. I mean, okay. We will probably end up finishing our halls, or our voids rather, by the end of the event. The problem comes from the fact that I don't think we're going to finish cults. So hang on, let's reevaluate. I don't think we're going to exalt by episode 20 because of cults and fungals. Because I mean, there may be a fungal event. Who knows? I'm gonna go topside. The problem is, yeah, I don't know. We could apply to be an exalt leader in pub halls for cults and fungals, which I may low key do, or have Orpheus put them up in Dungeoneer, but that feels less reliable just because it's a smaller dying server. But I feel very confident that we're going to finish our defense exalts, or our, our defense exalts, by the end of the event. The problem just comes with, unless we get really lucky with other people doing cults, I don't think we're going to finish that, which is a shame, because, yeah, I'd quite like to do that. Either way, the other problem that we come into is that I just don't have anything to talk about when it comes to doing these exalts, I mean, unless I got someone in the call with me, or other things go on like we do Shatters. But for the cold episode, we're just going to probably spend the rest of our time doing O3s, which I don't really talk anything over anyways, So I don't know, we do kind of reach that point with the character that we have to consider, which is fine. But we should be more than fine for this episode to finish our Halls Exalts, or our Defense Exalt, by the end of this episode. It's just about what we do after. That's going to be a bit of a challenge. We could end up splitting our Exalts, because at that point, we would need... we could do Cults over 2 episodes and Fungals over 2 episodes, which would be really doable, and then we would finish at that point by, yeah, a pretty good amount of time. So that's workable. White bag and a banner. There we go. That's something we need. Nice, nice. 1 out of 2. Also, we don't need these fucking banners. Please stop. But Omni though, that's pretty sick. That's pretty sick. I'm Omniing it. Nice. I mean, I really like Omni. I really, really like this. I fuck with Nolan Grayson heavy. I really like this ring, especially since they buffed it. This is a pretty solid option. Like, I mean, I don't know if I would do voids early for it. Yeah, Jesus, 6 and 13. I don't know if I'd do early voids, but if I like coincidentally like did like a handful and I got it early, I'd be hyped as hell. If we get a source stone, we are done with voids after we exalt. That is so fucking exciting. I'm really, really, really excited for that. I hope it happens. I hope to God we get a source stone. I don't want to keep doing these things after. I'm very excited that we got an Omni and a Lodestone for that matter. I feel like I don't really get NPC whites. So, fingers fucking crossed, because I don't want to keep doing these things. Something I've been philosophizing on lately is that in the past I've gotten a lot of flack as like a YouTuber and as a person with this game for how much like people disliked how vocally I complained about a lot of things, which I still do stick by the reasons. Hello. Sorry, I gotta pause my music. In case you guys are wondering, it is Turbines Pigs by Black Country New Road. They got a new album coming out. All I'm saying. Yeah, but I got a lot of flack in the past for the fact that I'm a very vocal complainer with this game. And I do want to reiterate that the reason why is because if it's not useful to my character, it is useless because I only ever do UPs. The exception obviously being, are we about to be in very large, very present danger? No. The exception obviously being like shiny items. Like that shiny Void Quiver is pretty hype. I'm not going to ever like play on that archer, just I have no reason to. But that's still a pretty fire thing to get. But what I've noticed about with this character is even for things that we like, it's a little ridiculous that we're still sitting here at Evocation and Conjuration. This feels a little ridiculous, but it's still kind of like, oh, come on, bro. Like, not like I don't find that I'm like particularly upset about it. I appreciate the fact that like the game is very insistent on keeping us at just below tops. It's a little funny, and it does kind of mean that we always have something to go for. So while it is upsetting to like get Soulfire Blades or a Godslayer Tashi or whatever, or whatnot, it's not like, the end of the world. And even then, if I get an evocation if I get a retribution and no banner, finally, fuck! It's been like 6 of them, sorry. Even if like we don't end up getting a reckoning or a retribution, then it's still like even if we do end up getting them, it's still like, hey, look at that, we finally got it after like 70,000 fame. By the way, base prediction, I think it is going to take me somewhere close to 70 to 100,000 fame to get both. Ideally we get them both sooner rather than later. In particular, I would quite like to be done with Shatters. I think I would quite like to be done with that. There used to be a period of time, like around the time I had that 250k night PPE, where I never wanted to be done with Shatters. I always wanted to keep doing them because I would finally started to master them. They were still somewhat new. It was only like the first year or so of them being out, and it felt exciting. At this point, they've been out for quite a while now. I think like 2 or 3 years now, right? I've gotten very good at them. We only need items from them for obligation. We don't technically need Catalyst anymore, and we sure as shit don't need Mantle anymore. So there's no reason for us to actually do Shatters besides like, that. And like, why risk it? I mean, we're likely not to die in a normal Shatters, but statistically, if something's going to kill us at this point in this character, it would probably be a Shatters. I'm very confident that when we die, it will be in a Shatters. Thus, to avoid that, I would like to be done with Shatters relatively soon. I'm not going to, obviously, like I had mentioned earlier, I think it's wraps on us getting a shiny Catalyst. I don't think that's going to happen, which is fine. As long as we get a shiny Fallen. That's fine. But I would like to get Mantle, Normal, Crown, and Catalyst somewhat soon. because those are the only items that we actually need from Shatters, because I don't count the ST ring, and we've already gotten Poop Sock, and obviously we've had 4 fucking gemstones at this point. So I'd quite like to be done with Shatters. Barring that, I think the only thing that would kill us is ACOGs or Umis. So, and we will eventually do Umi, by the way. There came a point, honestly, as early as when I exalted Cogbolts, that it was like, okay, never mind. I don't want to learn something new right now. I want to exalt my PPE because now it's doable. So as soon as we exalted Cogbolts back in episode 6, that's when the priority shifted from maybe I'll learn Kitsune Umi on this to I want to fully exalt Priest. That being said, if we fully exalt, I'll probably go back and do Umi at some point. I'm going to preface Umi right the fuck now with this, because I have very little patience for this from a lot of other endgame players, especially for things like Moonlights, because that is a sweat dungeon. I do not know what I'm doing. When I do Umi, I will be going into it blind. I've attempted Umi twice, didn't complete it either time, obviously. Did not use a raid leader. I am going into Umi blind. I will be making mistakes. I will not be sitting on Lantern for some phases. I struggle a lot with DDR in particular. Sweats are going to have to just inherently be patient with me. And I'm going to say it again when we start doing Umis properly. Don't need these banners. The purple dust is nice. We are gradually gaining more. Man, our mana exalt is far ahead. I would probably cut off a finger to have my defense exalt match my mana exalt at this point. I think with the duration or the entirety of this character, I'm going to look back on exalting halls as the hardest part of it. Easily. I have a character. So our next project is going to be something called the Miserable Player Experience. It is going to be another commentary series like this because, I've been really enjoying this. It is a tiered NPE, and all my stats are maxed in a random order. I've explained it before, but I'll do it again. So life and mana are 1 and 2. Attack down to Vit are 3, 4, 5. Def, etc. 6, 7, 8. If I roll mana first, can't drink a single other potion until I drink mana. Tiered and NPE, both self-explanatory. Tier progression, tier 1, 2, 2, 2, 3, and petless NPE. That's our next character. Why? Huh? What the fuck? Did I just see a legacy ST spell? Interesting. Anyways, so that's the idea. That's what we're doing next. Where was I going with that? I had a point about why we were doing that next, and well, that's gone. Oh well. That's gonna really piss me off. I could stop the recording right now and look, but I think it would be genuinely funnier if I just tried to parse it together myself. And I'm not going to, by the way. Whatever thought I just had is likely gone. So we're doing a tiered NPE ninja next. I don't know why that was relevant to the priest. Oh, yes, never mind. Okay, so I lost the footage for it. All right, that's a lie. The footage for the tiered NPE ninja had copyrighted music, and so YouTube deleted it, and then I never bothered to do it again. And you could probably still find it if you scroll through my realm long enough. I died to Gemsbach. My set with Kusanagi, T7 Star, Leviathan, and UBHP, because there was no tier 7 rings at the time. I exalted halls on that. It was what I regard to be the hardest thing I did on that character. Not the pet list being in near constant danger, nearly walked straight through that. Because it was harder to be petless back then, I think. I exalted halls. That was the hardest fucking thing I did on that character. That was the worst part about it. I was also doing it in groups of 10 people, and we had no priest, so I was in pretty much constant danger during 2 key phase for some fucking reason. Anyways, I think I'm going to regard the Hall's exaltation on this character as the hardest thing I'm doing on this as well. I think this is, if not the hardest, it's going to be the worst, because forcing yourself to do this many during an event while I also work a full-time job, and frankly, I don't always want to be fucking playing this game, obviously. I got other stuff I do in my spare time. I got a girlfriend. You know, I don't want to just be sitting here like constantly feeling like bound to my chair. But unfortunately for this event, I have been kind of bound to my chair in my free time. I just sit down and I do this. And if I'm not doing this, there's like soul crushing guilt. So that is why episode 9 has not been uploaded yet. I'm about a third of the way through the script. I finished writing about the derelict village. It's about 1,000 words, 2 pages at that point. That's why. Because I need to prioritize this first. Because if I don't do this now, I'm being a little dramatic when I say this. I don't think we're going to exalt priest. Because I think I'm going to die before I go back for this. Which is fair. I mean, this shit sucks. I don't like doing this at all. I really don't like doing hauls. White bag, hello. And no fucking thing. Seal. Okay, we'll take it. Honestly, kind of happy with how many hauls whites we're getting. I think this is going to end up being a very interesting video. I think it's going to be really cool because this is going to end up being like a normal, like, you know, montage music style video. I think it's going to be really, really cool to see the entire character as like one condensed like 15 to 20 minute video. I think it's gonna be cool for you guys as an audience too. I really hope so. I hope that's cool because it means that you guys get to see the entire process that goes into making one of these videos, and then you also get to see the result. And in case of things like the first attempt at Priest where I died at like 7.5K, you get to see why I upload those videos once every like 6 months. So that contextualizes that. But yeah, I mean, I think that's gonna be really cool. I think I've done a lot of good for myself with YouTube recently, what with buying a better microphone and like committing to sitting down and doing a series. Obviously there is still like the work-life balance aspect of it, you know, but there's like I think we hit a really good stride with this, and I'm very, very proud of this character. I hope that I think I'm gonna look back on this in a little bit, and I'm going to regard this as one of my favorite projects I've ever done because, like, right now, it's probably that, like, obviously that hour-and-a-half long night PPE, 250,000 fame. You know, that is what I regard as both my favorite and my best. I think this may eclipse this as it's my favorite, but it can't eclipse it as my best. Like, physically, it can't. The very first keeper I did at 200 fame, I got an Ogmer and a keeper sword. I got a double white, and then the entire character was it from there. That was the first hard mode complete I had. A month after hard mode Shatters came out, I got Chrysalis on my first try because it was still guaranteed. I also got a gemstone. If you guys haven't seen it, if you sort by popular, you're going to find part 1. Highly recommend you check it out. I consider that probably to be my best work. Are we going to insta-kill this? Close. Yeah, I would consider that night PPE to be the zenith of my career in terms of what I want my PPEs to be. It entirely changed the way I look at my PPEs. You know, I'm not going to upload something 20K, except that UP, that warrior UP, was just because I got the engraved shiny cutlass. But it entirely bolstered my standards, and it made me like care more about grinding. So, yeah, that's that. Okay, hang on, please, Source Stone. Fuck! Okay, damn. I think that's it. Cogs, soft reset. I'm going to take a break here. I got other stuff I got to do, but let's take a quick check. 17 out of 20. All right. Not too bad. Okay. That's workable. It's 28 more. 28 more. Okay. So, assuming that I think it's a 7-day event. It's possible we can do this. We can exalt this. We're definitively this is going to be done soon. But if we're doing 28, we'll round up to 30, assuming there are 4 days left in the event after today. Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and Monday, because they end Tuesday at 5 a.m. for me. I'm not going to do that. Assuming there are 4 days left in this event, if we do 7 of these things a day, tomorrow, Saturday, Sunday, and Monday, we would exalt. If we do 14 a day, then we could spend sometime Saturday and then Sunday trying to bolster our cults, assuming people do cults. So we have options here, and we have ways we can make this work. Okay, we have a new plan. We're going to entirely pivot. Okay, I was wrong. This actually just pivoted over towards the new month, and the fucking halls part goes on forever. The part that ends is cults on Monday or Tuesday at 5 in the morning. So he said that he will be running these things for a while. Big shout out to Larcade, by the way, on this. Pub Halls HRL. Mad respect. So we're going to entirely pivot what this episode is going to be. We are going to go and exalt our cults. This has got to get done now. I thought that both Void and Cult ended on the same day, which was Tuesday, and I was willing to sacrifice cults for Voids. Never fucking mind. Let's entirely pivot. Let's switch all the way over. Let's go sit here and do these cults for 4 hours. Okay. At the very least, if we get up to 20, or if we get up to 4 out of 5, that would be awesome. If we get lucky with our exaltation banners, we could make huge progress on this. We're not gonna. I don't think we're gonna fully exalt from these single set of chains. Let's see. It's 8:14 at night right now. I'm going to spend probably about 4 hours doing this, I think, or as long as he goes. 4 hours or as long as he goes. Either way, by midnight, I want to be done with this. So whatever we get by then, we'll take it or leave it. If this chain ends, we'll wait around for more to come. But I'm going to spend 4 hours trying to do as many cults as possible, and let's see where that takes us. Aside from that, it has been a whole week since episode 8 has been uploaded. I have been working on a script for episode 9. I'm about a third of the way through it. I know that obviously by the time this comes out, it would have been probably 2 or 3 weeks since you guys have seen episode 9, but today is the 28th, the last day of February. I am working on it. This is such a larger priority right now. And I will be mentioning that at some point. I will apologize, probably at the beginning of episode 9. I'm going to apologize for the fact that it took, at that point, probably a week and a half for that episode to get out, because this is such a larger priority to me right now with this game. So let's see where cults take us. I'm also quite curious about how we're going to be doing for fame when we fully exalt. I think I had mentioned it, either that or it's a fucking Phantom Freddy hallucination. I'm going to probably pot shot somewhere probably around 70k. I feel 15,000 fame is a pretty reasonable number for how many... No. Maybe. Hang on. Depends on how much other shit we do. Because if we're going to only be sitting here doing cults, then I think, honestly, the rest of the episode, I probably won't spend doing defense or mana, because we have so much more time than I thought for that. I'm probably going to spend the rest of the episode doing... O3s. Well, there is a kind of a trick or a trap with that, where it's what happens if people stop doing these, or if I'm just I have so much more time to do it, and then I put it off until 2 days before the end of the event, and people get sick of it. So I feel it's the weekend right now. The 28th is a Friday for scale. Maybe I'll spend Sunday on this. I don't know. I don't want to put this off. This 10 out of 25 is something we could theoretically go back for. Really don't want to, but we could go back for 15 voids. The problem is the defense exalts. So we need to lock in on that one at some point in this upcoming week. We got to go do voids. Hey, skull blueprint. That's interesting. I mean, whatever. Also, I'm seeing a lot of people in chat say, quote, "Where the fuck are banners?" So I mean, maybe this is just a cursed chain. I was cursed as hell with my defense ones, but I did put a extra little thing on my my notepad, because I want to see how many cult banners we get. Kind of curious about that, because we need to do 35 left right now. So, well, our cult exalt is about to surpass our Halls exalt, which sounds kind of insane. What did we start on for cults? Were we 3-5 or I don't know. We weren't what? We weren't we were with Halls, were we? NBC, what were we? 1 out of 10, 3 out of 10, something like that. Holy shit, we turned that around. But this still, we did a fair amount of cults on this character. We did pretty much all of Nests. We didn't do too much of Shatters, to be honest. A decent amount of it came from Spectral Penitentiaries. How many spec pens have we done? That's way down here. 13? Okay, 13. And then we've done 24 Shatters? Where's Shatters? 23? Yeah, okay. So 36 total. If it was double exalt, that we would have fully exalted off of this. Oh, and I guess Moonlights. We have a handful of Moonlight completes. Not many, only 10? Yeah. Okay. So if there was a double exalt, we would be fully exalted, which is kind of a shitty way to reconcile that. But we have done a decent amount of it on this character. And there is a Spectral Penitentiary event coming up, which we're probably going to grind just for the robe and for Deliverance. But other than that, we don't really need it. All right, we're gonna load into this, and wham! Nice. Look at that, 6 left, motherfuckers. We're so close. I'm actually like genuinely so hyped for this. It's very rare that I live long enough to exalt characters, and I guess it doesn't really count because we started with 24. In my defense, first off, fuck, like holy shit, this is easy. We did a decent amount of this, like what we talked about earlier. I really do think this is something we could have done from the beginning. We did cogbolts, which was the hard one. Fungals would just take more time. It would just take longer for us to exalt, probably by like episode like 30 or something. But I feel like I've hit such a good goddamn rhythm with this character. I'm familiar with how this character in particular plays, and once you kind of get into that groove, things become really sick. I like when that happens, when I kind of get used to, okay, I'm playing, I don't know, fucking warrior. You know, like I'm used to now how I play on this character, especially once I got like that fucking cutlass on that thing. You know, so I appreciate when characters kind of settle into their grooves, and I'm glad that we've done so on this. Oh, hello, white bag, please be the ring. Well, I mean, it's like not one of the ones we've had so far, so if we do end up getting completion for cults, that means we've had the entire set, which I think is kind of cool. If I get a void bow before the exalt, as well as, you know, source stone, obviously, if we're lucky, then that means I've had every single void white as well. I'm only missing breastplate, I think. Yeah, I'm only missing breastplate for that. But that means I would have gotten every single Halls white, which is like really cool. I don't know. I feel like the fact that if I do go for 100% completion, I could end this with every single Halls white, which I think would be really special. You know, and obviously not. Oh, burial blades. Forgot about that. Forgot about burial blades. If we get that too, that'd be cool. I think that would be really unique. Obviously, if like, you know, we get a source stone before we get a void bell, I'm not fucking going back for that. Are you crazy? But like, I still think that's really a cool thing to have in this for completion. In terms of like what we've gotten quite a lot of stuff on this character. Actually, I'm really happy about that. I like when characters have a bunch of like random cool shit that you get. I don't want to have a character that just gets items for my character. That always feels really discouraging. Also, there are 18 keys after this one. So if we do the math there, that means that this chain will fully exalt us on cults, which I'm pretty hyped about that, man. Can't even lie. I'm really hyped about the fact that we've exalted cults, because cults and Steamworks really suck. So I'm really thrilled that we've gotten these out of the way. The one concern, oh my god, this. I don't know. If there's a fungal event, we're fine. I do honestly think that if I fully exalt this character, I'm going to take a step back for a little bit, and I'm going to chill the fuck out. And I'm going to probably not play in it too much until I get caught up in uploads. 1, for you guys. 2, need a break. Need a bit of a break, which I feel like that's really entirely fair. What's our current minutes active? It's been a little over a month, by the way. And we have 4,000 minutes active, which is probably somewhere around, what, like 3 days, I think? Yeah. That's 1/10 of my conscious total time has been spent. Oh, hang on. No, it's been 11. It's been 1/11th because it's been 33 days. Oh, there's a 31st of the month. You know what? Whatever. It's been 30. Whatever. Close enough. Whatever. 1/11th of my total conscious time for the past month has been spent playing this game. Which doesn't sound like a lot. Then you think about sleep, and then you think about a full-time job, and you realize, and I have a girlfriend, and I got other shit going on, and that's kind of fucking crazy. I really, really put a lot of work and a lot of love into this character, and I really do think it shows. So I'm very thankful about that. All right, Colt has caught up to Void now. We've currently had 4 fucking banners, which is pretty good, and we only need 15 left. Really hyped about this. Nice. I don't know. Rare for me, I think, to get like this openly excited about things in these videos than I have been for exalting this priest. I just like, this is such an achievable goal, and us like not dying or not like bailing when we lost that first chrysalis. There was never an intention of bailing with that. You know, it was too early on, and I'd wanted to play priest for too long, even before I started the warrior UPE. So like early December, I had planned on playing priest. So I'm glad that we saw this through, and it turned out excellent. So much better than I thought it would. White bag and banner. Nice. All right. Sick. We will be done with Colts. Man, that is exciting. Nice. Nice. And I like the white bag sprites. It's been a while since I've seen white bags non-loot boosted just because we had a whole bunch of the deck of gold. But that's finally run dry. Let me put another mark. That is 5 banners. Pretty good. And yeah, only 11 left at max. Pretty good. All right, hang on. Damn, I mean, thanks, but like I kind of do want burial blades just to complete the set. No more no banner there, but 8 left. So we're slowly reaching the end. Yo! Finally! It's been years! First off, okay, there's our burial blades. Holy fuck! Mini Malice! I've wanted this skin for like, I don't know, like fucking 5 or 6 years. We have a better source for a skin now. Oh, no, this skin has not been out since 2000. The dungeon itself came out in 2017. I don't actually know how long I've been wanting this. But. I have a better skin. I like the sorcerer skin I use now. It's one of the, oh god, what is it? Vindication, I think it is. I think it's the Vindication skin. But still, really cool thing to finally get. Okay, there's 6 more keys after this. And then I am currently 19 out of 25. So, if we just sit here and don't DC, where do we go? If my internet doesn't, like, cut out in the last fucking 6 keys here, we're good to go. All right, there we go. We are 23 out of 25, and if my eyes do spy, that's an exalted banner. All right, nice. Holy shit, we did it. And Strangers by Ethel Kane is playing. What a horrible way to celebrate. All right, here we go. Stat bonus increased, speed increased, exalted in speed. 5 exalts left. 5 left. Oh my god, we're almost done. Holy shit. Okay. That'll probably be it in terms of exalts this episode. We may end up doing like 3 more voids to get that up. One thing I am a little worried about is after this is Shatters and like spec pens. Here's the thing. We could technically do that. For some reason, I don't know what the deal is. I have this awful fucking feeling that I'm going to die. I have this feeling that I'm going to fucking die in this like whole time. I'm going to leave the party. We don't need to be there anymore. Thank you to Larcade for doing those. Generational guy for that. Low key, we're not going to get a shiny catalyst. We might as well go back for Shatters after we fully exalted. I just feel so fucking like needlessly paranoid. We're playing Priest, you know. We're going to probably end up doing Shatters anyways, but I'm probably going to not do any like RSA runs. I'm probably going to only go for like Vet Plus. Obviously, we have no reason to do hard mode. We don't need Catalyst that badly. This like Engraved Fallen is still going to be best in slot. Actually, let's check how much Purple Dust we have because we've been periodically getting more. Oh, okay, sick. So we're actually really close. Well, not really. We still have this thing active for a day. Oh my god, wait, it's been 6 days. When the fuck did I start this episode? What the hell? What are we, 14? Hang on. Properties. Wait, what? We started this yesterday. Wait. Did we not get it this episode? Did we get it last episode? Okay, that makes more sense. Out of curiosity, when did we start 13? 13 was a week ago. Okay. So we started this somewhere near... Okay. Wow, by the way. Jesus Christ. Episodes 13 and 14 took a fucking long time to make. And episode 12. Honestly, like, holy shit. Everything since, like, episode 10 or 11 has been the bulk of the character. I mean, we have 4 times the amount of fame than we have in episode 9. Or episode 10, I guess. We start episode 10 at 15k. I think. Yes, because we end episode 8 with 15k. Holy shit, we have 4 times the amount of fame. Crazy. Oh, whoa, what the fuck? Shiny Sea Silk. What? Ah, damn. Yeah, I mean, Shiny Hunters is doing these things. I figured I might as well. Shiny Sea Silk is pretty interesting. I know this last one can be Daichi. My brother had told me that. Damn, that's cool. I mean, like, sure, I've already got Seabow. Might as well add the Sea Silk onto it. Dope. I mean, not like life changing or nothing, but I don't think I've had this as a shiny yet, so pretty unique. ST, what the fuck? Oh, wait. I didn't know this. Okay, okay, that makes sense. Okay. These aren't worth it. Hang on. This isn't worth it at all. Because what we need from this is a chance for Daishi. Daishi's a 1 in 3 from the 4th out of 5. Not worth it. This isn't worth it. Unless we want to go for the 3rd dimension robe from him just so we can dodge getting that in the future, which we may do these for. Just, I mean, there's no point in not doing these things. They're pretty easy. Let me see this shit. Accept the trade. I want him to accept it. Holy shit, that's jerk. Yo, why the fuck would you say that? But dude, that's such a fat W. We did also get a banner from that, which means wherever the fuck my marker is, I think it fell. Cool. Doing pretty good. We are on 4 banners. Not great, but not terrible. Once we exalt voids, we'll be at 350 exaltations, which is just under half. Kind of cool. All right, I'm going to just kind of wrap this episode up right here. Our exalt is at 4 out of 25. Our mana is nearly done. Okay, that's a shitty sentence to say. Yeah, sorry, bud. Okay, so next episode, we are going to finish our Hall's Exaltation, and we're going to try and, I don't know, probably do some O3s, get that out of the way, maybe get some introduction to the Shatters event as well, because I figure we're going to probably want to go for Catalyst. I think the Shatters and Spec Pens are going to be the last thing that is capable of killing us before we fully exalt, so I probably won't do too many of those, and I kind of need a bit of a fucking break after farming halls. But yeah, thank you guys so much for coming. We're making phenomenal progress. Only 4 exaltations remain. Yeah, thank you guys for coming, and I'll see you all in the next one.